There comes a moment in every man's life when the body begins to speak in a different language. It no longer responds the same way to effort, to a strong morning coffee, or to short nights. It tires earlier, reacts more slowly, and what once seemed automatic, energy, clarity, desire, starts to become more elusive. But here is the truth that nobody tells you. It is not that you are fading, it is that your body is asking to be understood in a new way. And if you learn to listen to it, it can ignite again with more strength than ever. In a world where most people look for quick solutions, pills, supplements, or passing trends, the thing that truly changes a man's health is the accumulation of simple yet smart gestures. Almost invisible adjustments in your daily life. What you drink when you wake up, how you breathe, what you add to your tea or coffee, the type of light you get in the morning. These tiny decisions, when added together, create structural changes in your metabolism, your circulation, and even your sexual desire. Today, we're going to talk about one of those habits that seems harmless and routine, but can become a powerful tool if understood correctly: green tea. This ancient beverage, consumed by millions every morning around the world, has earned an almost sacred reputation. Magazines, influencers, and even scientific articles present it as a kind of universal elixir, full of antioxidants, heart protective, and an ally of healthy aging. But here comes the part that almost nobody tells you, especially if you are over 50. The green tea you drink with so much faith each morning may be doing far less than you imagine. Not because green tea is bad, but because most people do not prepare it or combine it in a way that allows the body to truly benefit from its active compounds. That is why, in this video, I want to take you beyond the surface, beyond the myth of green tea as just a healthy beverage. We are going to transform it into a true therapeutic ritual, a biochemical boost for your metabolism, your circulation, and yes, your sexual health. Because small changes, when applied with knowledge, turn into powerful tools for male longevity. For years, green tea has been presented as a kind of miracle drink. It has been credited with all kinds of virtues, that it extends life, accelerates metabolism, protects the heart, cleanses the body of toxins, helps maintain mental clarity, and even prevents serious illnesses. There is no health magazine or wellness website that does not mention it as a symbol of a healthy lifestyle. For many, it is the modern equivalent of a potion for eternal youth. And it is true that, on paper, green tea contains an army of fascinating compounds. It is loaded with antioxidants, polyphenol, and molecules with scientific names like catechins or epigallocatechin gallate, EGCG. In theory, these compounds are capable of neutralizing the free radicals that age cells, improving fat burning, stabilizing blood sugar levels, and protecting arteries from oxidative damage. Sounds perfect, right? However, here is the truth that is rarely said out loud. Most of these molecules never actually achieve their mission inside your body. In men over 50, green tea does not behave the same as it does in a 25-year-old. What you drink with the intention of nourishing your body often becomes just a pleasant, comforting beverage with minimal real impact on your health. This does not mean that green tea is a fraud or that you should stop drinking it. It means that biology is more complex than labels or magazine headlines make us believe. Our digestive system, especially as we age, is not a perfect machine that absorbs everything we give it. And that difference between what we think we are ingesting and what actually reaches the cells is what marks the line between an ineffective habit and a therapeutic tool. Many older men notice that, despite maintaining healthy routines, their energy continues to fall, their circulation slows, and their sexual desire gradually diminishes. Part of that frustration comes from not understanding that the body changes with age. Its ability to use nutrients and convert them into useful energy declines. That is why a traditional cup of green tea may not be enough. The interesting thing is that, with small adjustments, this same ritual can become a powerful tool to improve vitality, circulation, and hormonal function. It is not about eliminating the habit, but transforming it. About moving from symbolic green tea to functional green tea, biologically active, that truly nourishes your body and reactivates your systems. To achieve this, We first need to understand what the real problem is, where these valuable nutrients are lost, and then how we can intervene intelligently to enhance their absorption. That is the next step. Before continuing, I would love to know something to connect with our community. From which city or country are you watching? Write it in the comments. I love meeting people who genuinely care about their health, and this allows me to create more useful and relevant content for you and your region. Let's get to the point. Now that we understand that green tea does not always deliver on its promise, it is worth looking more closely at what actually happens inside the body when we drink it. The secret, or rather the problem, lies in a very small but incredibly powerful substance called epigallocatechin gallate that are known as EGCG. This compound is, in theory, the heart of all the benefits of green tea. It is such a strong antioxidant that, in laboratory studies, it has been shown to reduce inflammation, protect cellular DNA, and even support cell regeneration. You could say it is the true biological engine behind green tea's reputation. But the big drawback is that EGCG is unstable, delicate, almost fragile. From the moment hot water touches the leaves, some of its molecules begin to degrade. What should theoretically be a bath of antioxidants becomes an infusion that loses potency with each passing minute. Then, when that beverage reaches the stomach, the natural acidity of the digestive system acts like a chemical hammer, breaking down the catechins even further before they can be absorbed by the intestine. It is as if these molecules are traveling on a heroic mission, but disintegrate before reaching their destination. In young men, with a strong digestive system and intact intestinal lining, a portion of these compounds manages to survive the journey and enter the bloodstream. However, as the body ages, this process becomes much less efficient. Metabolism slows down, stomach acidity changes, and the surface of the small intestine, where nutrient absorption occurs, becomes thinner and less active. The result is that even if a man over 50 continues to prepare his tea with the same care, his body no longer benefits from it in the same way. This decline in absorption does not only affect green tea, but almost all essential nutrients. Vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants pass through the body without leaving a trace, as if they were guests who never make it to the main hall. That is why many men feel like they are doing everything right. They eat healthy, exercise, drink their tea or take their supplement, and yet they feel tired, mentally slower, or with less sexual desire. What happens is not a lack of willpower, but a biological problem. The body is not receiving the chemical message that these compounds are trying to send. In the specific case of EGCG, this absorption failure means that almost all of its antioxidant power is lost before reaching the bloodstream. It is like having the key to a safe full of benefits, but a key that is bent and no longer fits the lock. And the most frustrating part is that this phenomenon occurs right at the stage of life when the body needs those antioxidants the most, when blood vessels begin to stiffen, silent inflammation increases, and natural energy declines. But the good news is that this limitation has a solution. There is no need to give up green tea or resort to expensive supplements. What we need is to find a way to protect those molecules, to help them survive the journey to the intestine and facilitate their passage into the bloodstream, where they can actually act. And that solution, curiously, is not found in a pharmacy or a laboratory, but in something so ordinary that it is probably already in your kitchen. That simple, everyday, yet incredibly powerful solution is black pepper. What many do not imagine is that this humble spice hides inside it a compound called piperine, a molecule with an extraordinary capacity to transform the way the body absorbs nutrients. Piperine acts like a master key that opens the doors of the intestine and allows bioactive substances, like the EGCG in green tea, to pass into the bloodstream much more efficiently. When we add a pinch of black pepper to our cup of tea, a small biochemical miracle occurs. Piperine reduces the action of certain liver enzymes responsible for deactivating compounds before they can be utilized, which extends their lifespan in the body. In other words, it slows the metabolism of those antioxidants so they do not degrade before performing their function. It is as if piperine builds a bridge that allows the antioxidants to cross without being intercepted. The most recent studies have shown that the presence of piperine can increase the absorption of catechins like EGCG by up to 80%. For a man over 50, this can mean a tangible difference: better brain oxygenation, more efficient blood flow, a reduction in internal inflammation, and, over time, an improvement in vitality and sexual desire. Because by improving circulation and the body's ability to eliminate free radicals, hormonal and cardiovascular function are also optimized, two essential pillars of male energy. Imagine, for a moment, that the same cup of green tea you used to drink with little effect becomes a powerful natural elixir. This is not magic, but pure chemistry. A simple touch of black pepper transforms a daily ritual into an act of regeneration. And the best part is that no large amount is needed. Just a pinch, the equivalent of a small press of the grinder, is enough to activate this process. There is also something deeply symbolic in this gesture. As you stir your tea with a touch of pepper, you are telling your body, "I hear you, I understand your changes, and I am willing to cooperate with you." It is no longer just about consuming antioxidants, but learning to make them effective. Over time, this practice not only strengthens circulation, but can also improve digestion, relieve the feeling of heaviness after meals, and provide a mild natural stimulation that replaces caffeine without affecting sleep. That is why many men who start with this simple combination discover something unexpected. Their morning energy becomes more stable, their mind clearer, and their mood more balanced. It is the kind of silent improvement that does not happen in a single day but accumulates, layer by layer, until it restores a sense of presence and vitality to the body that seemed lost. And yet, black pepper is only the first step. There are other natural allies that can enhance green tea in complementary ways, ensuring that every sip becomes a tool for holistic well-being. One of them not only protects antioxidants, but also provides an extra dose of vitality and immune defense. It is something as common and bright as the sun itself: lemon. Lemon, that fruit we often take for granted in the kitchen, is much more than a simple flavor accent or a garnish on the cup. Behind its refreshing acidity lies a biochemical defense mechanism that can make a profound difference in how the body utilizes the benefits of green tea. Its vitamin C content acts as a true molecular shield, a protective layer that surrounds the tea compounds and safeguards them from degradation caused by stomach acid. Essentially, it is like putting a bulletproof vest on the antioxidants so they reach the small intestine intact, where they can finally be absorbed and used by the body. Several studies have shown that adding lemon juice to green tea can increase the stability of catechins by up to 80 or 90%. This means that instead of losing most of the beneficial compounds before they are assimilated, your body receives them almost completely. Each sip becomes a true injection of cellular defense. And most interestingly, vitamin C does not only protect the tea's antioxidants, it also performs its own vital functions. It participates in collagen synthesis, a structural protein essential for keeping arteries flexible, skin firm, and joints strong. For men over 50, this property is especially important. With age, collagen fibers tend to weaken, making blood vessels less elastic and circulation less efficient. Reduced blood flow means less oxygen, fewer nutrients, and consequently, less energy. But by maintaining collagen production, lemon helps preserve that elastic network that allows blood to flow with strength, nourishing every cell and supporting healthier erectile function. In addition, vitamin C has a direct relationship with nitric oxide production, the same compound we mentioned earlier when discussing black pepper. This natural gas relaxes vessel walls, improves circulation, and enhances sensitivity and physical performance. In other words, lemon not only amplifies the antioxidant effects of tea, but also reinforces the pathways that sustain male vitality. The end result is a beverage that stops being merely aromatic and becomes a true therapeutic tool. Green tea with a few drops of lemon on an empty stomach can act as a gentle internal cleanser, helping the liver eliminate toxins, balancing the body's pH, and providing a sense of lightness and mental clarity that can be noticed within the first few weeks. It can even influence mood because vitamin C also participates in the synthesis of neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, which are responsible for emotional well-being and motivation. Imagine starting the morning with this ritual: hot water releasing the aroma of the tea, the steam blending with the fresh citrus of squeezed lemon, and your body receiving a clear signal of renewal. It is a small, almost symbolic gesture, but behind it, a complex chain of processes is activated, working silently to restore your vitality. Yet, there is still more we can do to optimize this ritual. If what concerns you is not so much the absorption or stability of antioxidants, but a feeling of slowness, internal cold, cold hands and feet, or low energy, there are other ingredients that can awaken the body from within. This is where ancient wisdom intersects with modern science, introducing two allies that have been part of traditional medicine for centuries: ginger and cinnamon. Ginger and cinnamon are two of those ancient treasures that the modern world is rediscovering with amazement. For centuries, Eastern civilizations used them not only as spices, but as true vital tonics capable of rekindling the body's inner fire. When added to green tea, both ingredients act as a natural boost for circulation, metabolism, and male sexual energy, activating processes that tend to slow down and become quieter with age. Ginger, in particular, is a root with a unique energy. When it enters the body, it produces an immediate warming effect. It dilates blood vessels, improves tissue oxygenation, and activates blood flow to the extremities. That is why many men who consume it regularly notice that the annoying sensation of cold feet disappears, digestion improves, and overall energy becomes more consistent throughout the day. This is not artificial stimulation, but a deep awakening of the circulatory system. The active compounds in ginger, such as gingerol and shogal, also have powerful anti-inflammatory properties. They reduce arterial stiffness, protect the endothelium, the inner layer lining the blood vessels, and facilitate the production of nitric oxide, the same gas that supports erection and physical performance. In short, ginger helps blood flow to where it is needed most. Studies have even shown improvements in insulin sensitivity and a slight reduction in cholesterol, making this root a complete ally for male well-being. Cinnamon, on the other hand, brings a different kind of balance. While ginger warms and stimulates, cinnamon regulates and stabilizes. Its magic lies in its ability to improve insulin sensitivity, allowing glucose, the body's primary source of energy, to be used more efficiently. When blood sugar levels are stable, energy swings disappear, the body stops storing unnecessary fat, and hormones find a more balanced environment to function. For men over 50, this can mean a noticeable improvement in daily vitality, a clearer mind, and a more responsive body. In addition, cinnamon contains antioxidant compounds like polyphenol and cinnamaldehyde, which protect cells from oxidative stress and help maintain more stable hormonal balance. A small teaspoon in green tea is enough to provide aroma, flavor, and a regulatory effect that lasts throughout the day. The fascinating thing about these combinations, green tea with ginger or green tea with cinnamon, is that they do not only offer physical benefits. They also create a moment of connection with oneself. Preparing the tea becomes a conscious ritual, an act of self-care that reminds us that health does not depend on great sacrifices, but on the consistency of small daily gestures. And it is precisely that consistency that determines real change. It is not about expecting immediate results, but allowing the body to find its natural rhythm again. Over the weeks, circulation improves, the mind feels more alert, and the sense of vitality returns, not as a fleeting spark, but as a constant flame. Thus, each cup stops being just a beverage and transforms into a tool for self-transformation. But for this process to be truly effective, one key element is needed: consistency. Trying it one day and forgetting it the next is not enough. The body needs repetition, it needs constancy. Only then can it rebuild the mechanisms of absorption, circulation, and energy that time tends to weaken. At that point, the tea ritual becomes more than a healthy habit. It becomes a commitment to oneself. Because the secret is not in the speed of results, but in the depth of change that is generated when we care for the body with intelligence, patience, and respect. Over time, one understands that true health does not come from extremes, but from consistency. After 50, the body no longer responds the same way to sudden efforts, miracle diets, or trendy supplements. What really makes the difference is the conscious repetition of small acts that, day after day, rebuild the foundations of vitality. That is why this green tea ritual, enhanced with pepper, lemon, ginger, or cinnamon, is not simply a beverage, but a daily practice that teaches discipline and presence. Each cup represents a choice, the choice to care for the body before the body forces you to do so. It is a silent reminder that health is not delegated, it is cultivated. And when that intention is repeated every morning, something changes. Not only does circulation or energy improve, the relationship with oneself also transforms. A sense of control, respect, and gratitude develops toward a body that continues to respond, that remains alive and capable of adapting. Many men over 50 confess that what they miss most is not the physical strength of their youth, but that inner spark that made them feel awake, purposeful, and full of desire. The good news is that this spark does not disappear. It only dims from neglect. When you regain simple habits, balance your hormone levels, and stimulate circulation, that vitality returns quietly but unmistakably. It does not arrive as a sudden explosion, but as a steady current of energy that carries you through the entire day, a sensation of lightness in the body and clarity in the mind. Modern science confirms what ancient traditions already knew: biological systems thrive on regularity. Metabolism, testosterone production, digestion, and even sleep depend on rhythms. That is why committing to a small ritual like this has a multiplying effect. Each day that you repeat the gesture strengthens an internal circuit of coherence. The body interprets that consistency as a signal of safety and, in response, reduces stress, improves nutrient absorption, and fine-tunes its hormonal balance. It is no coincidence that many men who adopt this type of practice notice subtle changes in 3 or 4 weeks: lighter digestion, firmer skin, deeper rest, a more stable mood. All of this is connected to improved circulation and the increase of nitric oxide, the chemical messenger that allows blood to flow freely and tissues to receive oxygen and nutrients. And within that silent process lies the very foundation of male sexual energy: strong circulation, a relaxed nervous system, and a mind free of stress. That is why it is not an exaggeration to say that turning your green tea into a conscious ritual can change much more than your antioxidant levels. It can change the way you inhabit your body. In that moment of pause, when hot water releases the aromas of tea, ginger, or lemon, you are telling your body, "I hear you, I care for you, I am with you." That attention has a healing power that science is only beginning to measure. And when this gesture becomes part of your daily life, the result no longer depends on luck or time. It depends on you. Because aging is not a sentence, but an invitation to care for yourself with more intelligence, more intention, and more respect. That is the true alchemy of well-being, transforming the ordinary into an act of regeneration. So the next time you prepare your cup of green tea, pause for a moment before drinking it. Observe the steam rising slowly, the aroma filling the air, the warmth seeping through your hands. It is not just a beverage. It is an opportunity to reconnect with your body, your energy, and that part of yourself that still wants to feel strong, vital, and whole. Each ingredient, black pepper, lemon, ginger, or cinnamon, represents a different way of telling your body, "I am still here, I am still choosing to take care of myself." Over the weeks, you will notice how the changes accumulate. Perhaps you will wake up with clearer mental focus, with a calm energy that lasts all day. You might start feeling more emotional stability, improved digestion, or even a renewal in sexual desire. This is not magic. It is biology serving consistency. When you give your body the right nutrients and remove the rush, nature does the rest. And the most beautiful part is that it all starts in your kitchen. You do not need expensive supplements or complex treatments. You just need a cup, some hot water, and the willingness to do things with attention. That is the true luxury of health, being able to transform the ordinary into the extraordinary, the automatic into the conscious. Because vitality is not bought, it is cultivated day by day through small decisions that add up. Imagine what could happen if you turn this simple gesture into a lifelong habit. 3 weeks become 3 months, 3 months into a new way of living. Your arteries remain cleaner, your heart stronger, your mind calmer. Circulation improves, metabolism balances, and libido, that quiet energy reflecting your inner fire, returns to feel present, natural, and powerful. It is your body reminding you that you are still made to enjoy, to move, to live fully. So do not let your cup of green tea be an empty ritual. Make it a statement. A daily affirmation that your health and energy deserve attention, that you still have much to experience, share, and feel. That is true transformation, not the one promised by a miracle product, but the one that emerges from daily commitment to yourself. Thank you for joining me on this journey toward more conscious health. If this message inspired you or helped you understand your body better, share it with someone who needs it. Because we all know someone who has lost a bit of that spark, and sometimes all it takes is a reminder, a cup of tea, a conversation, a gesture to reignite it. Take care of yourself, cultivate your energy, and I'll see you in the next video with more ideas, more science, and more inspiration to live better with purpose and passion.